Hi everyone, Miss Poach here. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that you can follow the Good Eggs on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and especially YouTube, where you'll find our animated kids show. And if you haven't yet, go to Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. Listen to the very end of this episode to find out more about how to keep up with all things Good Eggs. Now, let's get started.
It's time for the Good Eggs!
Hi kids, and welcome to the Good Eggs in the Community. Earlier, we were introduced to the eggs in Book 1 as they learned about virtues. Then remember we journeyed with them around the world in Book 2? And now with Book 3, we'll be back home with them in Albumin to see what it means to serve the community. Are you ready? The eggs are back at school and discussing the ambassador program from the United Nations, which will have them working in different kinds of community service. Today they'll learn about being ambassadors for children. Let's listen in. It had only been a month since the eggs returned to their homes in Albumin after their exciting year of travel. Now it was time for the new school year to begin. Their lives were slowly getting back to normal, but the thrill of the past year remained fresh in their minds. "You know," said Sigourney as she spoke to Meg on their way to school, "I keep thinking about what Miss Sullivan at the United Nations told us." "About being ambassadors?" asked Meg. "Yes," replied Sigourney. "It's a big responsibility, but I know I'm eager to get started." "So am I. What do you have in mind?" she questioned. "I'm not sure. Let's brainstorm with Gregory, Reggie, Benedict, and Miss Poach when we get to school." "Sigourney, do you think Miss Poach will be our teacher again this year?" Meg asked. "I sure hope so," replied Sigourney. She winked at Meg, and the two girls skipped the rest of the way to school. The school playground was filled with active children enjoying the swings and climbing walls. "Look," said Meg as she pointed to the sandbox. "There's Gregory and Reggie." Meg and Sigourney ran over to them. "Hey!" Reggie and Gregory exclaimed together as they hugged Meg and Sigourney. "It feels great to be back at school. I really loved our year abroad, but at the same time, I missed Albumin," said Gregory. "Me too. I missed our sandbox," added Reggie as he chuckled and tossed some sand onto Gregory's shoes. "Have you guys seen Benedict? We want to talk to all of you, along with Miss Poach, about how we can be ambassadors like Miss Sullivan spoke to us about," said Sigourney. "He'll be here soon. He had to return some books to the library," Reggie answered. Shortly after, Benedict came running across the playground. "Hey, you eggs! Benedict!" They shouted together and embraced him. "I just got back from the library. I had to return some books this morning before school. Something struck me strange, though. When I was there, I saw this little egg. He was standing in line to get some free books." "Free books?" asked Gregory as he scratched his head. "For keeps?" "Yeah. As I walked past his line, I dropped one of them and he picked it up for me. So I thanked him and asked him what he was waiting in line for, and he told me free books. He said he didn't have any books at home. Isn't that weird? Who doesn't have books at home?" Just then the bell rang. Everyone lined up and walked into school. Miss Poach was waiting for her class and welcomed each one of them with her warm smile and a big hug. "Children, welcome back." She hugged each egg as they entered her room. "I will be your teacher again this year. Since we traveled together last year, the school thought it would be best if we stayed together and expanded the study abroad program by becoming ambassadors in our community." "Miss Poach, that's exactly what we wanted to brainstorm with you about. Miss Sullivan at the United Nations said we need to be ambassadors." Sigourney said this with excitement as she placed her backpack next to her desk and took her seat. "We're just not sure what to do." "I have some ideas," said Miss Poach. "We'll talk about it after lunch." Morning passed and the eggs enjoyed their lunch break, but eagerly returned to their classroom and took their seats. I wonder what Miss Poach has in mind for us, Meg inquired. I don't know, but I'm anxious to find out, Gregory replied. Miss Poach entered the room. Part of the ambassador program is to involve people working together. For the last few weeks, I've been speaking with Miss Sullivan, Coach Flo, and your parents, and we came up with a wonderful program. Miss Poach continued. For approximately 2 months at a time, we will focus on a different aspect of our community. Then we will share what we learned with our friends we met from around the world. For example, for the next 2 months, September and October, we're going to focus on helping children in our community. We're going to help the children in our community to get proper school supplies. You know how important it is to have the right supplies to be successful in school. Not everyone has access to these things, so this is where we can help. Benedict raised his hand. Miss Poach, this morning I was at the library and there was a little egg waiting in line for free books. Can we help him? Yes, of course. That's a good example, Benedict. That line for free books is part of a program that was started right here in Albumin. It's sponsored by Operation Egg Equip. The group equips eggs with proper school supplies and books. Miss Poach, how are we going to connect this to our friends we met around the world? Asked Sigourney. Good question. After our 2 months are done, we'll choose a country or two that we visited to share what we learned and even send them supplies, answered Miss Poach. Being an ambassador starts in your hometown, but reaches out to the entire world. I can't wait to get started, exclaimed Gregory. We will do our service on 3 Sundays per month. That will give us 6 times over 2 months to work with the organization. This Saturday, we will meet at school and go with Coach Flo and our parents to Operation Egg Equip to learn more about them. Are there any more questions? No one raised their hand. Okay then, let's begin our lessons for the day. Later on the way home, the eggs were talking about the ambassador program. I really want to help little eggs read, said Benedict. I loved doing that at the hospital 2 summers ago, remember? Yes, we remember. That was great, Benedict. I can't wait for Saturday, exclaimed Reggie. I'll see you eggs tomorrow. He turned down his block and ran the rest of the way home. Saturday finally arrived. The eggs were anticipating an exciting day. Coach Flo was already at the school when the eggs and their parents arrived. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you again. She greeted the group and handed each one a bright yellow information sheet. This sheet gives some info about Operation Egg Equip and how they help the community. Look, Gregory, pointed out Reggie. It says here that in our community we have over 10,000 little eggs who need school supplies. That's a lot. I know, buddy, replied Gregory. We have a big job to do. I wonder if the little egg I met in the library is one of those 10,000, questioned Benedict. I hope I see him again. Benedict, chances are you won't see that same little egg, but I'm sure he's one of the 10,000 children in need. You will still be helping him by collecting school supplies, replied Coach Flo. Benedict began to shuffle his foot back and forth. I wish I could see him again. He looked up to me. I can tell he was scared and needed a friend. Gregory put his arm around Benedict's shoulder. You're a good egg, Benedict. Miss Poach arrived and gave instructions for the day. Follow the map on the bright yellow information sheet. Once we arrive at Operation Egg Equip, we will enter the main doors and turn left. You will see a large conference room. Take a seat and wait for the presentation to begin. Then we'll take a tour of the facility. A parade of cars pulled into the Operation Egg Equip parking lot. The group walked into the building and took their seats in the conference room. A gentle and kind man with a large, sparkling grin walked into the room and began to speak. Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Crackle. Some of you may know me from Crackle Greenhouse here in Albumin. Well, I also have another duty besides my greenhouse. I am the operations director here at Operation Egg Equip. It's my responsibility to see that the program runs smoothly. I'll first show you a short film about our operation, and then I'll show you around the place. Thank you so much for volunteering. If we provide children with supplies, books, and tutoring, we can help them develop their reading skills so they can have an easier time at school. And we all know that a good education is one of the keys to a better life. The group applauded and Mr. Crackle started the short film. It highlighted the beginnings of Operation Egg Equip and showed some of the kids that benefited from the program. At the end of the film, a little egg wearing a faded yellow Operation Egg Equip t-shirt was waving goodbye. All of a sudden, Benedict jumped out of his seat, pointed at the screen, and began to shout,
That's him! That's him! The little egg I saw in the library, that's him!
Mr. Crackle turned off the projector and looked at Benedict. What's wrong, son? What are you talking about?
The little egg at the end of the film, I saw him in the library. He needs me. Please tell me where to find him.
Benedict, try to calm down, Miss Poach said as she walked over to him and gently rubbed his back. It will be okay. Benedict, what is it? His mom asked with concern as she reached over the table and held his hand.
No one understands!
Benedict shouted and ran out of the room. Gregory ran after him and stopped him in the parking lot. Benedict, why are you so determined to find the little egg? We'll help you in any way we can, okay? Just come back into the building. We're going to take a tour. Benedict reluctantly agreed and joined the group. The building was quite impressive with areas labeled for different kinds of supplies. Crayons, notebooks, pencils, backpacks, chapter books, picture books, and any other supply needed for school. Mr. Crackle showed them the assembly line where everything came together. On volunteer days, we start with a backpack and go down the line and fill it to the top with supplies. Then it is zipped and placed into a box. When we have enough for a neighborhood or school, the boxes are delivered, he explained. Will we get to work on the assembly line, Mr. Crackle? Inquired Reggie. Of course you will. Not today, but maybe soon, he replied. The tour ended with refreshments. The eggs felt very informed about the good work of Operation Egg Equip, thanked Mr. Crackle, and headed home. The next week at school, Miss Poach asked the class for suggestions on how to help Operation Egg Equip with supplies. We can hold a school supplies drive, suggested Sigourney. We can ask all the eggs in school to bring in backpacks and supplies. That's a great idea, exclaimed Meg. After school, we can start making the posters and the flyers. I think we should use the same bright yellow paper that Operation Egg Equip used for their information sheet. I was hoping you would suggest a school supplies drive, smiled Miss Poach. Coach Flo and I already set aside a classroom to use. It will be the one at the end of our hallway on the right. We want to fill the entire classroom. Can we fill it right to the ceiling? Asked Reggie as he raised his hands high above his head. Of course, Reggie, chuckled Miss Poach as she mimicked his hand gestures, right up to the ceiling. Oh my gosh, Operation Egg Equip is really an amazing organization. After Mr. Crackle's tour, the eggs are ready to get to work. But I wonder why Benedict is so preoccupied with the little egg in the film. We'll find out next month. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being a good egg. To learn more, visit www.thegooteggs.org. You'll find information on the Good Eggs book series, lesson plans, word search and crossword puzzles, and more. You can also learn about the Good Eggs Foundation and how we serve our community. There's a lot to see on our website, so be sure to check it out. That's www.thegooteggs.org. Thank you.